Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I know it's I know it's weird to see me shooting the video in broad daylight, but since I had the day off from work, I figure why not? Might as well change it up change it up when I have the opportunity. I hope all of you are having a wonderful week so far. For this week's video, we for this week's video we have to go back a little over a week, last Thursday evening to be exact, as it was the launch party for Sulit Press's multi-author book Going Places. Yes, I know, I've been I brought this up multiple times over the last few months, from the announcement of me being announced as one of the authors, to the to the books to the multiple posts promoting the book, and the testimonial from my experience in writing my chapter, The Origins of a Solo Traveler. After all that, it was time to celebrate. And although I could not join my colleagues at the launch party in Austin, Texas last Thursday night, I was able to join them for the author panel virtually on Zoom. And it's with that with that spirit in mind that this week's poem and reading comes from. And the poem goes something like this: An ode to going places. This is for my fellow authors, a dozen of us that started as strangers, brought together by a shared love, our travels, and the impacts that they left. Through all the edits, Zoom calls, and messages from all corners, the tireless efforts of Sulit's staff to see the end result in our hands. We're enjoined now as essayists, writers, and best-selling authors. The words there for all to read, to enjoy the spoils of the large table of grace, stretching from one side of the country to another, even from screen to screen. Our paths will cross again, I'm sure as the planes that take off in the sky. So yeah, I was still buzzing from the fact from the party last Thursday night, even though I wasn't physically there. I guess it was me just trying to dissuade myself from the fact that after after all the after everything that had happened since my application to join the project was accepted back in April, that this was sort of the last loop of the major one of the last loops of this year to close. And I'm instead of trying not to be bummed out about it, as I usually tend to do whenever something big happens to me, like a like the I'm on cloud nine, and then about 5 seconds later the letdown brings me crashing down to earth. But I tried not to think about that here. I just want to thank Michelle Savage and her entire staff at Sulit Press for this opportunity. Sure, it was. At times I felt frustrated and doubted my own capabilities as a writer, like bringing my chapter, The Origins of a Solo Traveler to life, despite the fact that I've told the story of that first trip to Spain multiple times and in multiple ways, just to tying it together into one cohesive narrative proved a lot tougher than I realized. I had to swallow my pride and ego here to like hold back the sense of frustration. Like, why am I having to edit this so much? Like, am I ever gonna get the chapter right? Ever gonna like get under the like how much detail for this story is gonna be enough to publish? But eventually, like, I started real. I took a different tack with my thinking. Like, Michelle, even though she admitted this during the panel, like she really, even though like she really wanted me to join this project. Granted, like we were both co-authors and authentic together, so she really knew more than anyone, like the impact of the words that I write, even more than I do or like to give myself credit for at times. And I can't thank her and her staff enough for bringing this story to its full life. I can't thank the co-authors of the book enough. Like, it was our combined experience whether it be on every Zoom call during the summer or in the Slack chat. It reinforced why I love being part of multi-author books slightly more than doing solo efforts. Because that sense of community that all of our stories, we all have that degree of commonality. And who knows, like, I do sincerely hope that our paths will cross again actually in person at some point. Maybe after the next round of all of us going places, we'll eventually find each other again. That this much I'm sure of. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I just want to remind you that there's a lot of the world to see. When you can do so, embrace every moment of your travels. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth more than all the money and possessions you could possibly own. And I will talk to you guys again next week. Good night, everybody. Good day, everybody.